What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Yo Gotti and Mike Will Made It have emerged out of nowhere, completely out of the blue, with a brand new collaborative album or a retail mixtape if you want to classify it that way. The title is Gotti Made It. Pretty simple stuff. It's easy to recognize and remember. Aside from that, you have 9 tracks on this project with one sole guest feature from Nicki Minaj. I don't know about the rest of the world, but any Yo Gotti music is welcomed around these parts. Mike Will's production fits Yo Gotti really well. Unfortunately, that means that a lot of the beats don't impress outside of maybe one or two. You compare it to where Gucci Mane and Metro Boomin's album was last week, and there's really it feels like it's the opposite. So my thing about Drop Top WAP was that the Metro Boomin beats tend to stand out a little more than Gucci's rapping. I feel the opposite with this one. It's Yo Gotti's words that prove to be like the standout moment of this album, and the beats themselves are just decent at best. I get it though, Mike Will is probably one of the most sought out producers right now, so he's probably sending beats to everybody from, the Futures to the Kendrick Lamars, and not to throw any shade at Yo Gotti, but he's not the biggest name, so I don't think he's getting access to Mike Will's absolute best. But like I said, there are some good ones on here. I'm not knocking every song, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the majority of it just feels like it's less than memorable. Off of Gotti Made It, I had 2 favorite songs that I wanted to discuss. The first of which is Legacy. We all want one. And we all want them to be large. We want our legacy to satisfy our ego and be, everlasting. And I feel like that is multiplied by 100 when it comes to rappers. So on this record, Gotti explores that idea of how he built his legacy with pots and pans, and you know what they symbolize. And so he's exploring this idea, looking at how he's done so much in his career, in his life. And he also takes a moment in the second verse to kind of show love, pay homage to Lil Wayne and Young Jeezy, because they have some classic albums that, really built their legacy, and Gotti is still listening to him. He says, I'm still listening to Trap or Die by Jeezy. I'm still listening to Carter by Weezy. The one thing that you get when you listen to Yo Gotti's projects is that he has a lot of respect for the industry, like the real people in the industry, not the fake people, of course, and vice versa. Those people, the Lil Waynes, the Jeezys, Nicki Minaj, Drake, so many different names respect Yo Gotti. My other favorite is one that I want to highlight just real quick. It's called Look At Me Now. This record is on here because I love the flow and the sound of it. Like I mentioned earlier, there are some good Mike Will beats on here, and this is one of them. I think what this record made me feel is why I put it on my list. Basically, when I started listening to this, I'm like, damn, this sounds like it's a familiar, like an idea, like a flow and the production. And then I immediately, after Gotti started rapping, I was like, this sounds like something like Juvenile would be on, like some old school Cash Money type of record. And so I like that. I have 2 honorable mentions I wanted to talk about real brief. The first one being Dog. In the second verse of Dog, Yo Gotti talks about how he doesn't respect Donald Trump because Donald Trump doesn't like Mexicans, and Mexicans are the plug for Yo Gotti. I like that. I like that Yo Gotti is kind of tying it into his world. He's not just saying, you know what, fuck Donald Trump. No, he's actually breaking it down. I thought that was a cool part of the song. The other song that I included was Letter to the Trap. I think this is one of the most creative songs on the album. It's basically a love letter to the trap, but it's written in a way that makes it feel like it could be written to a woman. Like he says things that you wouldn't say, otherwise. Gotti Made It is not a perfect album, mixtape, whatever. It's far from it. So now I want to talk about 2 of my least favorite songs. The first being Rake It Up featuring Nicki Minaj, the only guest feature on the project. Call me crazy, but I just don't get the same joy out of hearing Nicki Minaj rap about sex. Like, it feels like that's all her guest features have been about. It just seems like she's kind of stale with like the same ideas. Granted, there's always different ways to talk about sex. I just feel like maybe I'm just not feeling it or the execution isn't there. But it's pretty much like there's a metaphor about her vagina. There's lines about how every guy in the industry wants her. And it gets repetitive at a point. At the same time, though, I guess if her fans like it, then that's really all that matters. And I've seen a lot of people already praising this verse, so hey, who the hell am I? Also, though, on this record, I had to talk about Yo Gotti because he tends to lean on these type of hooks where they're not really catchy or infectious. They're more on the side of annoying. It's like, rake it up, rake it up. Like, that type of formula, it works from time to time, but I feel like Yo Gotti leans on that with every project that he does, at least once. And so it just didn't work in this case. The other record that I wasn't feeling was Off the Pole. It's just your typical strip club joint, and that's all I can really say about it. I listened to it, and it has like those same, criticisms that I just had about the last song. It seems like Yo Gotti is just set on doing these hooks that just don't mean anything. But granted, it's a strip club joint, so maybe it rings off in the strip club and it becomes a hit single and I'm hella wrong. I don't know. But I can say that I just wasn't a fan of it. I like when Yo Gotti gets creative. Gotti Made It is exactly what you'd expect out of a project from him. I feel like you always get that mixture of creative concepts versus some dull, regular songs that are largely forgettable. Records like Legacy and Letter to the Trap will be added to Gotti's growing catalog of marvelous songs. Yo Gotti and Mike Will Made It, they do have chemistry, but I also feel like it doesn't warrant an entire album together. I do applaud them though, because this was different and unexpected. I don't think there was any promotion prior saying, I'm doing a project with Mike Will Made It. This is coming out June 2nd. Like, I don't think there was any of that. So it was definitely different and it caught me by surprise. But I will say that even though I didn't like the majority of the project, there are some good songs on here. And that's something that I always like walking away from a project with. So those are my thoughts on Yo Gotti and Mike Will Made It, Gotti Made It collaborative mixtape album, whatever it's classified as. I feel like I say that a lot. After you listen to this project, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter at Sermons Domain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.